organized races, and I think it's just the most beautiful Ironman from the circuit. If you see the bike course, I think it's unique in Ironman. So I think it's for me it's the most beautiful race there is, and also the atmosphere on the island. I've been here many times, also on training camps, and I just love this place.
You bike too fast, and I'm gonna follow you.
And what marathon time do you think you're going to run?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, we need to put the time down.
2:55.
Okay, fantastic. Welcome, Bayliss. Well, I gotta ask you, of course, how much is the idea, the wish of winning a third time, writing history here, in your mind?
I definitely would love to win this race again. It's a very special race for me. It's one of the toughest ones out there. I'd also like to increase my 15 times winning Ironman. I'd like to make it 16, 17, 18. So tomorrow, if I could win and make it 16, it would be amazing. I had a baby last year, 9 months ago, and this will be my first Ironman since having Charlie. So I'll be doing my best, fit and strong. I hope I'm fitter and stronger than the rest of the girls.
Expectations going into 2012?
Well, I think the men's field is weeny tiny bit stronger than last year, and which means that, it's going to be tougher this year, I think. Definitely.
Okay, tougher race this year. Overall, it is a tough race. That's what a lot of people say. Kiril Kotsegarov, welcome. Lanzarote being a completely different race than Florida. Florida nice and flat mainly, and now here really gutsy wins and the climb. But you are an incredibly strong cyclist. What are your expectations for tomorrow for the race?
Well, first, if you look on the weather forecast, it's pretty calm tomorrow. So probably a lot of guys will be able to ride fast. But of course, it's completely different from Florida. But I usually try to race Ironmans with a hard course like Ironman St. George, Ironman Wales, now Ironman Lanzarote. So it will be interesting. I have a good friend, Ain-Alar Juhanson. I've won it twice, so I have a good advice. I know some places where I should go faster and where I go slower. So I'm pretty well prepared for the race.
Well, I'm Philip, you are not one of the youngest Ironman winners of all times. You are the youngest. 2009 Ironman UK. It wasn't much of it was a little bit of a surprise probably, but you won 70.3 UK before that. Did that change your sport, the way you were able to train? It must have got you a lot of attention. How did the victory in 2009 change the sport for you?
Well, in several ways, to be honest. I got obviously with Simon Specialized, and they wanted me to do a lot of racing in America. So I spent a lot of time over there, and it didn't really sort of agree with me. I spent a lot of time travelling and very little time training, and just sort of got really, really worn down. And last year especially, I was just very, very tired throughout the entire year. I had a bike crash in April where I ruptured all the ligaments in my shoulder, and that sort of put me out for the whole year. So just coming into this year, I just decided just to try and stick with Ironman, because that's what I'm really motivated to do. There's so many 70.3 races out there. I don't really feel motivated to stand on the start line of a 70.3 race, because I've done so many 70.3s in the States. It doesn't really inspire me as much as going to an actual Ironman race, so I'm just going to try and stick with Ironman races, which is what I do an intelligent race. I think for me it's more important that I actually finish than try and smash everybody to pieces on the first 40k of the bike. So yeah, I really, really want to finish and try and get through the race in as decent a shape as possible, because I want to do Ironman Austria and Ironman New York. So obviously that's quite a quick turnaround. So I want to do well at this race, but be able to get back training within the next couple of weeks.
If you were entered in an Ironman race anytime in the next 18 months, I was to yank you out of the entry list. How hard was that break? I guess it's been a little longer than 18 months. It's been 2 years. How hard has it been?
It's been hard. I did put myself down on the start list for Ironman Wisconsin in 2010, which I didn't start, but it has been hard. I mean, I watched Hawaii the last couple of years on the internet, and it's been like, yeah, I was there in 2009 leading that race, and it's hard to try and take yourself out of that, but knowing that I'm not ready and knowing like how hard it is to actually even get through one of these things, rather than being competitive, you know. But coming into this race, I feel the most prepared I've ever been for an Ironman. Going into Ironman UK, I wouldn't say I was as prepared as what I am now. But for me, it's just weather conditions really is the main problem. So hopefully, if it stays like this, I should be all right. But it's just through those 2 years where I just did some 70.3 races in the States. I learned so much about the entire sport. I mean, I can't believe looking back on it now how naive I was going into Hawaii in 2009 compared to what I actually know now. So hopefully I'll put those 2 years of learning under my belt, and hopefully this year I can try and get back to where I was in 2009 and get some good results in the bag.
Well, I hope to win, of course, but there are other strong women here, so we will see.
Listening to you prior to the race and reading some of your blog posts, 2012 didn't start quite the way you wanted it, but it seems to motivate you. How motivated are you for the race tomorrow?
My last Ironman was Ironman Hawaii, and it wasn't a good one, so I hope to be... Lanzarote is for me a very special race. I like the course, and I think it's one of the toughest in the world. And I always said to myself, once I want to win this race, so that's what motivated me. I came back here in 2009, but then 2 months before the race I got an injury, so I knew beforehand that I couldn't finish that time. So I hope tomorrow that it will all come together. The bike course I like the most, especially the El Golfo, that part, and Mirador del Rio, those 2 parts. And then when you come off the bike, there are so many supporters down the run course, and you are seeing them all the way, because now it's 3 loops, but before it were 4 loops, so that motivates me.
But we're very happy to have her here. From the US, Katya Meyers, welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Katya, a 15 hours trip, how did you shake that off?
With a little nap, a little splash in the pool, and woke up the next morning and had a lovely ride on the course.
That's the way to go. Is it your first time on Lanzarote?
Yes, it is, and it's awesome. I've never been to a place anything like it. People compared it to Hawaii, and there are certainly some similarities, but a lot of differences as well, and so it's really exciting to be here.
Katja, you look at his webpage and look at his season plan 2012, it's like a page long. Peter, tell us a little bit, it is just your thing, and I know a lot have tried to replicate that, but it doesn't work. How does it work for you? All the racing and then just recovering in between?
I think that the main point is not to take the race so seriously. You know, if you really enjoy the race from the start to the finish, and you are not trying to kill yourself, or just enjoy the views, enjoy the atmosphere, watch the other athletes, then it doesn't kill you that much, and pretty much you can start the next race, next weekend.
So you're saying triathlon should be fun?
Of course it is.
Great. Peter, it is, you've raced a lot. You had a long career. I think you started triathlon in 1995, your first race. But it's the first time on Lanzarote, and you wrote, "Finally, I made it to Lanzarote." What does it mean to you to finally be here and race the race?
The thing is, there's plenty of races in May, and I tried to do all of them over the years. And for Lanzarote, it's close to my home, so maybe 10 years ago I asked my wife if she wants to spend a week in Lanzarote. And then our first son was born, it didn't work out. Then she had some tough work in university where she taught. So it just year to year we were talking about going to Lanzarote, and I always ended up somewhere else on my own. And last July, our second child, daughter Vera, was born, and she finally agreed to come here and spend a week in Lanzarote. So I didn't hesitate and finally made it here, and it's a really exciting place.
Being able to train on the course and spending so much time here for the race tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been here many years now. I worked as a green team at Club Center in 2004 for a year, so I've been quite a lot on the route. I wasn't biking at that time, I was mostly at the disco, but since then I've been a lot of the course, and I'm training here 8 weeks a year at least, so I really love it here. There's always some people to train with, some asses I can kick and some people can kick my ass as well, so that's perfect.
You had a pretty good stretch start.
Confidence on the swim. I'll probably be the first girl out the water and hopefully the first girl on the run course as well. So that's my plan, to be in front from the start to the end.
Well, you've shown in Melbourne that you know how to do it, so we hope you have a fantastic run here tomorrow. Thank you very much.